that might even be taken as a sign of dissent is allowed in Russia right now.
Περισσότερο από μία εβδομάδα παραμένει κρατούμενος ο ανταποκριτής της Wall Street Journal στη Μόσχα με καταγωγή από τη Σοβιετική Ένωση, Ιβάν Γκέρσκοβιτς.
Cares very deeply about objective reporting from Russia. It's something that he and I have talked about many times, and I know he's spoken about with many of his other colleagues as well. His arrest is absolutely unfair and unjust, and he should be released immediately.
You know Ivan personally. Please tell me about his career.
We were both fellow journalists in Moscow, covering many of the same topics. And I've always been incredibly impressed with his professionalism, how fairly he covered topics and how passionately he covered the country.
The Moscow City Court would hear an appeal from lawyers of Ivan Gershkovich on April 18. His lawyers have visited him 5 days post his arrest. Do you know if he communicated with anyone else?
As far as I know, he hasn't had any consular access yet, which is a big problem. I know some Russian officials have suggested that this will happen, within the course of 5 days of his arrest. But as far as I know, that hasn't happened yet. But of course, we're in touch with his family, with his friends. So I think he's aware of the fact that there's a huge campaign in his support and that he's not really been left behind, which I think is very important when you're stuck in a Russian jail.
We know that you have been a correspondent in Russia. Has Ivan ever told you about risks and hazards of reporting there during the war period?
Evan was actually one of a few journalists who were able to go back and who indeed were not afraid to go back to Russia to continue working there. It was a decision that he made quite consciously, aware of all the risks of reporting in Russia at a time like this. We need that kind of reporting. It's very important to the world, especially now.